Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And I'm sorry I was delayed. For all of you, I am really sorry. I forgot to hit the go live button, so I've been talking for the last 20 minutes. I was already late about 10 minutes, so I'm sorry about that. But I've been talking not live for 10 or 15 minutes. So today, we're going to talk about what to do if you lose your job. And of course, the simple answer is please invest in yourself. So hit a link down below and we're going to get to it. All right. Welcome back. Let's talk about it. What are we going to do so you're not going to be broke? What are we going to do? Hello, Paula. Hello, Sovereigna. You guys, Daniel Simon. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting around. Curtis Davis, Daniel Simon, Paula Marion, Easy, Pray. Right on. Thank you. Everybody needs prayer. Thank you, everybody, for waiting for me. I've been sitting here thinking I was live for the last 15, 20 minutes, rambling on about a discussion to only myself, apparently. So I want to thank you for holding on and being here. Thank you for your support. And as usual, please hit the like button down below if you like what we're talking about. And please share any of the videos to help other people. So I will now have to go back over what I discussed earlier or what I wanted to talk about. But I want to thank everybody for being here. Milton Pouncey, hello. John Sam, hello there. And welcome, everybody. All right. Sovereigna, I did forget the tagline. Let's get to it. All right. So first up, I'm going to talk about some things that are just, since we're talking about if you lose your job, everybody who's a subscriber understands that you should be a free agent. Meaning you should always, even if you work at a place, you're happy with working at your place, you should always have some actual extra income coming in. We need more than one stream of income, more than earned income. Earned income is a job. So we need more than earned income. So therefore, you should have extra stream of income coming in just in case what's just happened right now, a pandemic has occurred. And millions of people have lost their job. And hopefully not many of you have, and you've, even laid off is a pain because you never know how long unemployment's going to be. You never even know if you're going to get unemployment. So these are the kind of things that you have to prepare for and think like a free agent, because your job could come back and say, you know what? We pay you $60,000 a year. We can't afford it anymore. We're going to have to either let you go or you're going to have to take 40. And now you're going to have to make decisions. You just never know what your decisions might come up due to the fact of a pandemic, or because you got sick, or because a family member got sick and you had to be out from work and trying to take care of somebody, or the kids got sick, or the kids aren't going to school because of the pandemic. You never know what's going to happen. So by all means, you should always have extra streams of income. And thank you, Paula Marion. The 7 streams of income is imperative. Invest in yourself. Again, how are you going to invest working 8 hours a day, 8 to 10 hours a day at a job, 5 days a week or 4 days a week, and then make somebody else rich instead of spending an hour or 2 or 3 working on yourself, investing in yourself, learning something? I don't understand why you would not do that. This is America, land of the free, home of the brave, the place where no matter what, you can come up. Sure, I know people are sitting here right now and saying, Eric, I have this situation holding me back. The man holding me back. Come on. Let's start talking about perseverance. All right? Rest in peace, John Lewis. Let's talk about perseverance 40 years ago when you would have gotten beat down for being on the wrong side of the bridge, beat down for being on the wrong side of the town, beat down for looking at somebody. Come on. And you call yourself having a problem in today's society. Come on now. Come on. Stop playing with yourself on this. There's nobody holding you down. It's whatever's right here in your mind holding you back. Don't let nobody stop you, because nobody can in reality. Nobody can stop you from going to get a bank account. Nobody can stop you from going to get an LLC. Nobody can stop you from getting an EIN number. Nobody can stop you from posting up, I have something for sale on the internet. Nobody's stopping you. You're just stopping yourself. So I don't want to hear the man stopping me. No, this ain't 1960. This ain't 1950. All the brothers, John Lewis, Jesse Jackson, MLK, to name a few. That's what they were doing back there. Stepping on people, getting beat, getting hurt, bleeding, just so you can sit up here and post something on the internet and make money. Nobody's stopping you. Come on now. All right? So get that out the way, straight out the back. I don't want to hear anybody with any color, any minority. I don't want to hear it. All right? There's discrimination all around the world, including America. People try to stop you all around the world because of the color of your skin. Hell, it might even be something as simple as you're a Christian and you might be killed. Might be you're a Muslim and might be killed. Might be you're a Jew and might be killed. All right? So now that we're done with that and we're all sitting here on the computer in our nice cozy confines wherever we are, now, are you going to be uncomfortable now and start posting on the internet, start making your presence felt instead of just sitting on here watching things? Are you going to actually turn this into a money-making venture? Because when you lose your job, I hope you already have a way to make additional income coming in. We need those 7 streams. All right? If we get 1 more stream or 2 more streams, that's the point. But you're trying to get more than 1 stream of income. Let's face it, ladies and gentlemen. I told you I made a video on Airbnb. I think it was about 6-7 months ago because I got outraged that a guy was on here that's an Airbnb guy. He has maybe even, I don't know how many thousands of followers he has. More than me, a lot more. And he proceeded to show people how much he made. I proceeded to show how much I make on Airbnb, showing my 1099s. Not 1 year, not 2 years, 3 years. So you guys can see for yourself the income coming in through Airbnb. Well, what's happened during this pandemic? I've joined like millions of other people because I deal with resort area locations. I have places that are shut down right now. I can't rent. I can't do anything. I'm shut out. I'm basically laid off from my own business. So what are we talking about? That means I have another stream of income coming in, luckily. Several other streams of income still comes in the door. So now I don't have to worry about if I'm getting unemployment, if I'm getting a handout from the government, such as a $1,200 stimulus check that only about 100 million people out of 300 million people are going to get. I don't have to worry about if I get an EIDL loan, stimulus package, a PPP, none of that. Financial freedom. And Curtis Davis, thank you so much. The Malcolm X's of the world. Exactly. Exactly. So, again, it's your time and there's no excuse. But let's move along because I'm going to get into something else. Because that marketing and branding, your product that Paula Murray's talking about, that's exactly what you should be doing. Exactly what you should be doing out here. If you haven't done it already, you can get your own name. So you can have You can have Joe Schmo Instagram page. You can also have Joe Schmo's beauty supplies as an Instagram page, as a Facebook page, as a TikTok page, as a Snapchat page, as a Twitter page. Come on. The world is your oyster. And when you start realizing what you can do with this oyster, then you're going to start going, what was I doing sitting over here working 8 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a day for somebody else when I could have been working that same amount of time for myself, but I'll be able to just get up, wear my pajamas to my corporate office that's 15 feet away from my bedroom. You see what I'm saying? Work from home for life. What a novel idea. Work from home for life. Laptop lifestyle, Wi-Fi bread. I call it financial freedom. Wake up when you want, how you want, do what you want, when you want, how you want, be anywhere you want on the planet, as long as we have internet access. So anyhow, that's the bottom line of the story. So what are we going to do? We can always talk like I like to talk with Curtis Davis and the rest of you about investing in stocks. But you actually have to have money to do that. So if you lose your job, you're not going to be fortunate enough to do anything like that. So what I'm going to do here is real quick, just so you guys understand the severity of the situation. And a lot of people think they're like alone, like they're the only ones that's having a hard time. A lot of you who are previous subscribers know already what I'm talking about. And that has to do with, as you can see here on the screen, 63% of Americans, this is from 2016, did not even have $500 emergency funds. Once you realize that's 6 out of 10 people that you walk by, 6 out of 10 people that have a 2019 vehicle, 6 out of 10 people that live in a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house, 6 out of 10 people who are going here working 40, 50, 60 hours a week do not have $500 to their name. Doesn't that make you think what you should be doing? Don't think you're an exception. Don't think you're special, that you can just sit here and go, well, you know what, I'm just going to keep working, put this $100, $200, $300, $500 a month away and give it to the 401k guy or give it to the mutual fund guy. Because they could just be like, okay, you know what? You don't work here anymore. A pandemic occurred. Now what? You're going to be going through those funds, which are going to try and jack you when you try to use those funds. Except right now, let's just say this is a different situation. They'll allow you to, withdraw up to 100K without a penalty. But in normal times, you get laid off and you got to go touch your 401k. You might lose 10, 15, 20%. It all depends on what type of 401k it is. So these are the kind of things that most people aren't thinking about. You're thinking you're in your safety zone. There's nothing safe out here. There's nothing safe out here. Okay, this isn't your mother's America. There's no corporations that came up after World War II and they're going to sit there and employ you for 20, 30 years and you're going to get a nice little pension check. Okay, them days are over. There's only a few companies that are going to be around that are going to be able to pay pension money, because that pension money is actually tied up in the stock market and other derivatives. So you have to understand, just because before 40, 50 years ago that somebody could work 20, 30 years and still get a check right now, that may not be you. So what are we going to do about it, right? I'm the solution guy here. I don't sit here and whine about what the situation is. We got to come up with solutions. As a free agent, you have to come up with solutions, because that's what you are. You work at a location. They're paying you $40,000 a year. And by the way, 60% of the population makes $40,000 or less. So this isn't a far-fetched scenario. Joshua Felder, welcome. This is not a 60% of the population makes $40,000 a year or less. And you guys have heard me talk about this before. That is only $3,500 a month. And I say only. In a lot of places, That's a lot of money depending on where you live. But if you live in Cali, not a lot of money. If you live in New York City, Manhattan, not a lot of money. New Jersey in some location, Miami, not a lot of money. You're not going to be able to live. You're not going to be able to find a place for $1,100 a month. All right, in a lot of places, they're going to be in bad areas. At least in my neighborhood, in one of those southern states or Ohio or whatever. Just like in Detroit, where there was a house that a person's renting for $850 a month. That's fine. But I'm just saying, in the majority of locations, $40,000 a year is not going to cut it, especially if you need a car, if you're trying to have credit cards, if you're trying to finance your way through because you don't have to make enough money. All right. Moofner Glee, welcome. That's right. Stop struggling now, people. Boston, no money. You got that right. Just like in Boston, you ain't going to be able to live on $40K. Well, you can, but it's not going to be in the right neighborhood for you or your family, especially if you have a family. That's not going to work. So what are we going to do about it? You're going to monetize yourself. You're going to invest in yourself. So your work money that you're earning, that's fine. If you get laid off, let's just start this from zero. And you're going, hey, Eric, yo, I'm messed up, man. I got no money coming in. I've got bills to pay. I need to get some up and operational like ASAP. But I do have a little bit of change, 50 bucks, 60 bucks, less than 100 bucks, let's say. So here's a solution. I've talked about this before, but I haven't talked about this in a long time. All right. So you guys can see over here, I got Elite Club every day. Wait a minute. I forgot I'm not on the OBS. Let me get to this screen for you real quick so I can show you what I'm doing. All right. Let's go here. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get this up real quick. I'm going to show you the Elite Club, and let's see. I can't find it. All righty. All right. Let's see here. Let me see if this is it. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Found it. All right. So I'll get this up on the screen for you a little better. Here we go. Elite Club, where you can go to Elite Club. I'll put a link down below. In fact, there's already a link down below in the description. I call it Elite Club, but you can go to Elite Club. You can sign up. And on Elite Club, let me see if this is the correct. You can see here every morning they send you these deals of the day, and they go live at 10 a.m. And what I want to show you here is they have these deals on Amazon. All right. So you can see right here the Volo 300 portable power station Go Tracks. It goes to this scooter, but that's not what it is. It's a portable power supply. And in the morning, it was $125. I'm going to show you something here shortly. And you have all these. So I have these up already. The Pony Effect, you could have gotten $14. Now, some of these you can get 4, 5, 10, 12. Other times you can only get 1 or 2. It just depends on the offer. But if you have less than 100 bucks or 125 bucks, you could have bought this. Everything else is pretty much under 20 bucks. All right. As you can see here, they sell for more on Amazon. So now it's just up to you to buy a few of these items and then resell them. And by the way, that's a stream of income, right? That's the stream of income. That's another stream. So that would be a second stream of income if you're able to do that. So I'm going to move along and show you on the screen as well. I want to go to the, let's see, I'll just go to the portable power station that I mentioned. I'll go show you that, as you can see now. That they had for $125 earlier this morning. So you could have actually purchased it for $125. Use your credit card. How do you pay your credit card bill when you don't have any money? Here's how you do it. You have $125, right? let's say, you go pay your credit card. You use your credit card to pay this. Then after you buy it, you go online and then you just use the money from your bank account and pay the $125. Now you've done two things. You've paid probably your monthly payment for your credit card, and you got this piece of an item that you can sell. So according to this, they're selling this for $249. That's right, Joshua Felder, arbitrage. In fact, I've been talking about arbitrage a lot of times. So when I told people to get a timeshare from Timeshare Nation for free and then post it up on Airbnb or TripAdvisor or FlipKey or anything like that, we're arbitraging. Same thing. Same thing. Yep, you can dollar store arbitrage as well. You can go to the Dollar Tree general store, buy something on clearance, come home, put it up on eBay, Facebook Marketplace. It doesn't even matter. All platforms, you can say I have something for sale, and as long as you have a PayPal or a Square or some way for somebody to pay you, you can get paid. Arbitrage. I like that word. So these are the kind of things that we're talking about. And as you can see, that's one item. And I'm going to go through another item as well. So I'll go through another one. So it's just to show you that it's not something that's abnormal for the elite club and what they're doing. Because we'll go with the ladies. How about the ladies, right? Lipstick. It was down there at the bottom. You can see here. The lipstick. It was under, let me go back and look myself. I'll go check it out. I can't remember the price. I think it was $14 or something like that. Yes, $14. And as you can see, it's on Amazon here for what, $40? So again, you could have purchased a few things from them. Then you could have just posted it up on Amazon, posted it up on eBay, posted it up on your social media websites, and turn it into money-making venture. This is what we got to do if we lose our job. This is what we have to do if we have a job. This is a stream of income. So why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? That's the big question, right? So we're going to get into some other things. So all day today, we're going to be talking about opportunity. It's business opportunity. Carly, thank you for the comment. Everyone needs to be self-sufficient. That's how we scale our personal worth. Exactly. Curtis Davis, love it. Learn skills online, read books, training. And that's why you come here to StopStrugglingNow.com, because I'm trying to help out everybody. You guys know the motto, rising tides, lift all boats. That's how we got to do it here. Everybody, you got to think that you're your own corporation. You're your own CEO of your life. That's a t-shirt, by the way, that you can get at Stop Struggling Now. All right? Go to the SSN merchandise link. Or are you going to consider yourself a emerging millionaire? How about that? That's what you should be thinking. So when your boss comes in and he tells you something crazy, you should be looking at him going, do you know who I am? I'm a CEO. Come on now. You just get paid more than me at the moment. That's all that boils down to. They don't know anything more than you. So anyhow, all you have to do is learn your skills a little bit. And none of what I'm saying takes any skill set. You already log into probably ordered products from Amazon. You're already used to logging in to Facebook. So you can go to the marketplace. You're probably used to logging into Instagram and all the social media sites. The only thing you may not be used to is providing a link to have somebody go buy your product. And how hard can that be? Come on. This ain't that hard. All right? So we're going to talk about something else. And you're going to say, okay, I got you. I got you, Eric. I'm on board with this arbitrage, as Joshua Felder termed it. And that's what a lot of people term it. I'll give you guys a story because, every now and then I got to give a story. As you know, I used to play poker. So there's this kid. and I call him a kid because he was only like 21, 22. In fact, I don't even know if he was that. I was down in Aruba at the Aruba Poker Classic. And this kid, we just hit it off because he actually ended up being from the Bay Area in Cali. And he was down there. He's under 21. But in Aruba, you can be 18 and over and play in casinos at the time. I don't know if that's still true. But anyhow, he sits there, and that was basically about 10 years ago, maybe, something like that. Well, due to Facebook, he connected with me and said, hey, what's up? What are you doing? And so for 10 years, I haven't talked to him until like 28. Well, it was 8 years at the time, 2018 or 2017, something like that. So he says, what are you doing? So I say, hey, man, I'm doing this Airbnb because everybody got so good at poker. I'm not making enough on the profit margin. So if I'm not making enough on the profit margin, then why am I playing when I can make more profit margin using something else? So I said, I'm doing Airbnb. And he used the Joshua Felder term. He goes, really? He goes, you won't believe it. I'm using Airbnb too. And I'm arbitraging homes. So what him and his partners were doing, they literally were getting homes in high-end locations. Notice the key word, high-end locations. San Francisco, Scottsdale, Arizona. They're sitting there getting these homes that are, let's call them 700,000, 800,000, a million, things like that they could rent out for a week for like $4 or $5 grand. So they only picked those type of places, New York City, and they were getting homes there or buildings, whatever they were doing there. And he called it arbitrage. And that's all they did. They would go put down 20% on a property and then put it on Airbnb. And because it was in a high density area such as San Francisco, New York, Miami, Scottsdale, they're renting out the items. Basically, they get in five days of rent, pays their mortgage for the month because it was a high-end property, so they got high-end rent. Versus going for a low-end property, you're not going to get that much rent, so therefore you can't really arbitrage. It only makes sense if you can make $15,000 profit per month. Why would you not do that 3 or 4 times? So that's basically what they've been doing. So it was funny that both of us ended up the same way. He doesn't play poker anymore either because the same thing happened. Even though however good he is, he realized you have a shrinking margin. Because once everybody gets good and once you find out that other people are playing with free money, they're getting sponsored. Not only are they getting sponsored, they actually have people that gives them a piece. So in other words, it might cost $5,000 at the end of the tournament, but they only spent $500 out of the 1,000. People took pieces of them. So now they're taking chances that a normal poker player who's playing off of using their own money, they're not going to take the chance to try and hit a 1-outer or 2-outer or a 5-outer. So that's the story on the arbitrage. It's just, like I said, it's interesting how people who are trying to make money kind of end up doing nearly the same thing. It's just with a different item. So he's doing it with Airbnb. I'm doing it with Airbnb. We can also do it with Amazon. We could also do it with what I'm about to show you next. I'm going to show you something else. Glad you got that CEO of my life t-shirt, Curtis Davis. All right, let's see. I'm going to give you guys something else to think about. So we went over the Elite Club where you actually get to see beforehand potentially what the price is and what has a different type of auction. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, you're trying to figure out, hey, I want to do something at a flea market. I want to post up a tent on the street corner and sell some items. How about that? How about that? You might think about that a little bit, right? Well, you're saying, where do these people get all this stuff? Well, what if you knew that you could get pallets full of goodies? Pallets full. right? From Target. You know, when somebody returns items, sometimes the items go out of SKU, meaning they're older, they're not moving. So they say, hey, just toss it over here. They toss them and they send them to places like this, directliquidation.com. Okay, there's a link down below in the description. That's right, Curtis Davis. I guess I'll let another secret out. Scottsdale is one of my places that I hang out at in starting from about February, March, and April. Not all the way through, but you can usually find me like when there's a waste management, some of the spring training that occurs. That's why March. And then after March, when all the spring trainers leave, it's like heaven and the weather's still like 75, 80 degrees. And you have the whole like North Phoenix to yourself, it seems like. So anyhow, let me see. I lost train of thought because I got sidetracked for a second. But the directliquidation.com for everybody on podcast. So you'll see a link down below in the description, and you can see here as I'm scrolling through featured manufacturers. Some of you might know some of these names. They're well known. Hisense. If you go to Walmart, I saw that at Walmart, I believe. Lenovo, Fisher, all these, everybody's seen pretty much. They know these brands. And see, they put it in their own little department for you. And they come, some of you might even have seen pallets like this at a flea market or sitting behind stores like a 99-cent store or a general dollar store. You might have seen these little bins like this just sitting on the floor at Big Lots, but you didn't think nothing of it. You were just sitting there going, oh, yeah, here's a deal in here. Well, guess what? They went down here and they bought everything on that pallet at a certain price because this is an auction site. So it's auctioned off. And they kind of give you an idea of what's in here and what you can use that's inside of there. And then you can go online and you can actually look and see if the value is going to be worth it. But you just don't know exactly the exact amount. So like you see, I'll go to the very first one where it says 41 pieces and you see mixed electronics under the major retailer tab on the left. And you see the 41 pieces mixed electronics, grade A, grade B, refurbished. And you see right now the bidding is at $1,050. So depending on what is in there, probably must be some computers, it looks like even some sort of sound equipment kind of thing too. And who's ever bidding on this, it's just like any business, whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying a car, whatever you're buying, you have to do your due diligence. Even if you're buying a share of stock, you do your due diligence. I don't know where people get this thing where they're just buying stuff sight unseen. They're just saying, you know what, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and just buy it because it looks like a good deal to me. No, you got to do your due diligence. All right. That's the first thing you always should do. So Carly Lewis, the idea 400 and make 700 back. We are trying to get more than that. Also, you would need EIN, correct? Not with direct liquidation. I don't believe you do. Not with these. Sometimes you do. It all depends. That is right, Joshua Felder. Thank you so much. I forgot that we have donations. Thank you so much, Joshua Felder. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support, everybody. And again, we have 22 people right now. It appears 23, 24. Can you hit the like button down below? And I appreciate if you have any questions or anything, please ask them. Carly Lewis, yes, direct liquidation. And the idea here is the reason why you do the auction site, you would have to know, like I said, the due diligence. That's why you want to know kind of what the value is. So if somebody's willing to bid $1,000, they're not going to be making $1,400. You follow what I'm saying? It's obviously not worth it. They already have calculated or kind of know what's in there, and they're sitting there going, okay, this whole thing's worth 10 grand. Let's just say best case scenario, 10 grand, 8 grand. And you go you figure out, okay, best case scenario is 7 grand. Let's say, I'll use this as an example. So then you go, okay, I'm going to take it down to 5,000 or 4,000 so I can off this real quick. So the real question ends up being, do I want to make 7,000 by holding it for 2 months, or do I want to make 4,000 and hold it for less than 2 weeks? Because money and time matter. All right. So that's all I'm trying to say. But don't worry, Carly. I got something else for you. Direct liquidation is not the only one. They're not the only ones here. We have somebody else I'm about to show you. So we can, I'll get that into you. So don't worry. Here we go. I'm going to give you another one. All right. So we won't do just direct liquidation. I'll do discounted wholesale as well. Here we go again. Check these guys. Here you go. There you go. Direct discount wholesalers inc.com. Pallets, general merchandise, as you can see here. Toys, diapers, cosmetics, eyes, lips, face, nails, health and beauty. Health and beauty has serious markups. Cosmetics the same way. So here you are again. Here is a little different. Look at here. As you can see, you can just buy outright. The best to your knowledge. You don't have to do the auction. You can just buy outright. So if anybody's listening, you can go to directwholesalersinc.com. And I have a link down below. So again, you're dealing with pallets. And everybody, listen here. I'm going to tell you something that's very important. When you're out here hustling and you're actually in the game, what's going to end up happening are simple little things that give you an advantage. Most people don't think of this. But what will happen is once you start doing business with these people, if you know where their warehouse is, you could actually possibly talk to them on the phone. Then you'll say, you know what, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm going to come by and see you guys. And 9 times out of 10, this is how I call insider trading occurs. Because you go meet the people. They see your face not once, but 3, 4 times. And the next thing you know, when you go in there the next time, you'll say something like, you know, what do you guys do when somebody orders an item and then the payment is false? They do a chargeback, or they don't pay for the shipping or add it on the shipping, or there's an issue with the shipping address. So, Raina Macarena, give me an example. The thing that squirrels eat. I don't know. If you got a market for the thing that squirrels eat, then I would get it, as long as it's at the right price. But here's the thing. You're at the location and you just ask them certain questions like, what do you do when somebody doesn't pay for the additional shipping, or somebody's credit card messes up after 2 or 3 days? What do you do with those items? They'll say, well, sometimes we put it back on our site. Sometimes we have a list here of people that we call and say, if you got cash, come on down and get it. You just never know what's happening. And this is why you can't just order something. Zion, Holsey, welcome. You can't just order something. You have to be involved in your craft. Take it a step further. Don't mind talking to somebody, because what will happen is somebody will slip up. And I don't really mean to slip up. What they really are, if you're doing business with direct wholesalers, all of a sudden somebody that works there or talks on the phone might say, hey, you know, we don't have that item, but this other person has the item. Another company that's like us, they might say, hey, go see these guys. They have it. So in your quest to become the best, you have to ask questions, and no question should be above asking. You should always ask, and you should always try to find out if you can get to be an insider. Because how many times I have to tell you stories about being an insider? It matters. Everything is not equal. Everybody out here who has a job, when you're growing up in school, they're telling you do the right thing, go by the book, be above reproach. But what they don't tell you is there's insider trading, just like in stocks, just like with business contracts. Paula Marion, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. Just like when you're doing a contract and trying to get a contract and you're sitting there going, man, I know my bid price was a lot lower than these guys. And then you find out it's the brothers of the councilmen and they did some funny business. This is how America actually works. This is not America who's on the up and up. When you lie, cheat, and steal to take a country, do you really think that your bread and butter and everything is based on the truth and doing it the right way? Come on now. Stop acting and thinking like a little child. This is not winter wonderland. All right? You out here trying to be a corporation and a subsidiary of the United States of America. And it's time that you start thinking you're coming for yours. And you have a birthright to come for yours. People come from all around the world trying to get to America just so they can have the same opportunity that you have. So make use of it. Get your websites. Get your Shopify if you need to. Get your Square. Get your PayPal. Temple of Black Eroticism. Welcome. All right. Glad to hear this. I like this. Right before COVID, I had turned my website into a drop shipping site, but it would cost me $150 monthly to keep it up. Do you think adult toys still will sell under the current economic climate? Temple of Black. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Adult industry sells no matter what's going on. It sells all the time. You just have to understand that you just have to have an outlet and you have to let people know you have the item. That's all there is to it. In the adult industry, you actually have to get to where people are. So in other words, everybody goes, what, porn? Oh, I better not say it. There's adult websites. So people can go to, and that's where you have to make the decision. Do you really want to run an ad there? That's basically the bottom line to the adult industry. Somebody just needs to know that you're available. And spending $150 a month for a website seems kind of odd. That's strange. There's no reason to do that. Hear me out. Because you can make your own website using a WordPress, free software from WordPress. You can get hosting on a secured server from a lot of places for less than $20 a month. And you can get Square or PayPal to do payment processing. So I don't understand. But if you want to do $150 a month, that's fine. But I'm hoping it has all the toys, all the products, and I'm hoping you have a domain name. Because if you don't have your own domain name, how are you sending people to it? And with porn, you have to understand you're going to be restricted. Meaning it's not, you can't really, you're going to be restricted when you post on social media sites. You're going to be restricted. It's not like you can run a YouTube channel, although you probably can. I don't know if there is one, but I would be running any place that I can that doesn't cost me anything. And even if I have to put on here on YouTube, I'm running porn, I would do it. If I can get some content up and I can show people what the toys are, or even on a screen and say, hey, you can order this, there's ways to do it. And I'm just saying. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I can talk about this is I used to be in the adult industry, not performer. Just I used to sell adult websites back in the day before, we're talking about 90s, when you couldn't actually see porn on the internet unless you had to pay for it. And that was the beauty of it. So you had to have a membership back in the day. Thank you, Curtis Davis. Venmo, Cash App, Square. Those are all kind of ways to pay. Temple of Black. Hopefully it helps you out. Right. Curtis Davis buys stuff off Craigslist, paints the furniture, resells it. Hey, I got other stories. I got friends who go out here, they scour Craigslist every day and look just for the free items. So when the person drops a free item, they go and pick it up regardless. And then they turn around and sell it on Craigslist. So basically, they're getting items for free and arbitraging it. We'll keep using that term today, arbitrage, instead of resell. So that's what they're doing. Picking up free items from Craigslist. Every day somebody's listing, come pick up something for free. In fact, in this neighborhood I live in now, my other neighborhood, when people move, they used to just put stuff out on the sidewalk and say, hey, somebody come pick it up for free. Perfectly good working equipment, working couches, sofas, even electronics. And if you are one of these people who are up here and you're sitting there doing this type of thing, reselling, then you need to be on Craigslist looking up the free. In fact, Facebook Marketplace has free items, just so you know. Because again, resale is a thing. Anybody can do it. This doesn't take any special skill. The only beauty of it is now you have other places, OfferUp, Let Go, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. In fact, Instagram just implemented their marketplace where you can sell items on Instagram now. Drop shipping software. Man, Temple of Black, I don't know if you've paid that $150 or not, but I would look around before I do that. And I would also check with Shopify to see if you can have that type of product on there, because it would not cost you $150 a month. The drop shipping software, I don't understand why you need the software. I'm kind of lost, man. In fact, hit me up, Eric at StopStrugglingNow.com by email, or send me a comment after the video. It's going to populate, but send me an email at Eric at StopStrugglingNow.com and we'll talk about it. Because if you didn't already spend the $150, you don't have to. All right. All right, Zion Holsey. I've been watching, and I have Discover Capital One and Self Loan. So far, I've made all payments on time. Have 3 DTT. I don't know what that means. All right, maybe you have three derogatory things on your credit. You need to get that removed if possible. I have sample letters. You can also check on the channel for how to do your own credit repair, and you can go see that video, and that'll help you out. All right. Fully automated Temple. Nothing's fully automated. All right. I don't know what you mean by fully automated. You have to get customers there. How are you going to get customers there? All right. Let me know how you're going to get customers to your fully automated site. I understand automated, such as when you go to StopStrugglingNow.com and you go to the SSN merchandise page and you see Stop Struggling Now merchandise and you hit to buy it. I understand if you call that automated, but I still got to get people to the website in the first place. So in essence, it's not automated. Zion, don't pay any more of your derogatories. That's right, Curtis Davis. It is hilarious. People don't even know. The land of milk and honey. People give away free items. People are sitting there scouring Craigslist 24/7. They go be the first ones there and then turn around and resell it on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Craigslist. That's how crazy this is. We live in America. There's a way you can make nothing, turn nothing into money. Gotta love it. Okay, Zion, you shouldn't have paid the first 2, but since you already did, I'm hoping that you got a letter from them. The people you paid the derogatory accounts, you got a letter from them saying they're going to remove that information from your credit file. Most of the time, if you just pay them, it's still going to stay on your credit file and it still counts against you. So this is why you don't pay them. Let me give you the thing again. Click on the channel and search for how to do credit repair, because the last one you will not pay. All right. The last one you will not pay because if the first two, unless if you're going to pay the third one, you have to have a deal with them where they send you a letter saying they will remove it off of your credit file. Pay for delete is what we call it. If there's no pay for delete, then there's no pay in the first place because it goes against your credit score regardless. The only way it helps you is when it's removed from your credit score. Either you got to wait 7 years or you got to dispute it. And here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't understand how the credit reporting agencies work. LexisNexis, Innovis, SageStream, they need to be frozen. This is how the credit bureaus actually verify your information. When you try to dispute it, they send you back a letter going, it's verified. No, it was not verified by the creditor. It was verified by one of those three industries, one of those other credit bureaus. So you freeze them. Then you have to send a dispute. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, I have AT&T as a derogatory on my credit. And let's say AT&T reported me to the credit bureaus, and that's on there. Now, me disputing that will probably come back verified. But when AT&T writes it off, then they send it to ABC Collection. ABC Collection has no right to put anything on your credit report. Why? Because you never had a contract with them under credit. You only had a contract with AT&T. So therefore, you have to dispute it. It should not be on your credit report. And then after that, you can dispute the AT&T because actually AT&T wrote it off. So now how are they reporting it on your credit report? That's how it works. All right. That's right. Paula Marion has a great suggestion. Pay off all credit card debt. Right. Pay off any credit card debt before you pay off collections. That's for sure. Zion Halsey, I've never had any credit card debt. That's great. Try to keep that up, but you're going to need credit cards. Temple of Black. Sorry, I'm cooking. No problem, man. No problem. You can hit me up at eric@stopstrugglingnow.com, and we can talk about it. There's no reason to pay $150 a month for this so-called automatic drop shipping software. I don't know what automatic drop shipping software means, quite frankly, because in this day and age, this ain't 1990. In this day and age, you can get paid as long as the payment processors allow you for your items, you can get paid. So there's no reason to have any drop shipping software. Literally, if you have the item, or for that matter, you don't even need the item. You can post up and say you have the item, you receive payment, and then go pay for the item and have it shipped to the person directly. Because you're already going to have to advertise to get somebody to come to your website wherever you're selling it at in the first place. So hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Hospital bill, student loan, everything else is paid, and too late I paid AT&T. It's all right, man. Hey, it is what it is. You live and learn. So if you ever come into the situation again, you'll be able to handle it. No problem. So anyhow, back to what we were talking about when I was mentioning about the direct wholesalers inc.com, and then we started talking about the arbitrage from Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace gives free items. People do that too. So we can talk about that. Now, I have one more for you, though. I got one more for you. Don't worry. We have another one, because you might say that's not enough for me. Those first two is not enough for me, Eric. Let's go to somebody else. Let's go see somebody else's liquidation inventory. What's this look like right here? BULQ. B as in boy, U, L as in Larry, Q as in Queen. What are we talking about here? Look at that. Actual prices. And again, does this look familiar to some of you flea market personnels? People that go to the flea market, you see these bins that people have that they set in the aisles or set in their booths, and people just pick through the clothes and determine what they want, and they're selling them for $5, $3, things like that. This is how you do it. This is why they can sell things so cheaply. When you get 400, let's go. I'll show you right here. 98 items, 126, ground shipping included. That almost means all this is $1. 308 items, $1.25. 85 items, about $1.50 each. 63 items, about another $1.50 each. 330 items, women's apparel, almost $1.10 each. So you can see easily why somebody at a flea market or on the street corner can sell clothing for $5 each. Easily. 5 times 300, 1,500 to make 363. Carly, this is the kind of markup I'm talking about. I'm selling all these items for $5 and I'm buying it for 363. Where do I sign up? Almost 5 times on my money. And all I need is roughly, what is that, $5? We need to sell less than 50 items, 60 items, 70 items, 74 items, roughly 74 items, and we're in the profit, and we still going to have 260 items left, roughly 256. 256 all profit, which makes it almost, that's over $1,000 profit. These are the kind of markups that you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Forget that book. Forget that stuff in a book that you learn from school when they say buy stuff for 50% and then mark it up. Buy something for $50 and sell it for $100. No, that is not the way you're going to make your money. Okay? Why do they tell people that? No corporation makes money at that markup. Because it does you no good to be able to sell something for $100 that you bought for $50 and then still have expenses. Because out of that profit, you're going to have to pay expenses. So really, you're not getting 100% on your money. So you're going to have a hard time, and you're going to be like a store out here, which most stores generally operate on this type of formula. They pay for something 40, 50%, and then they just double it, and they're saying that was good. But see, that works in the old days. This is now. We have inflation. Inflation is not 1% anymore. Inflation is not 0 to 1% like it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You can forget that. When inflation is 5 to 10% per year, you're losing. As soon as you buy something for $50, you're already losing 1% the following month on your money. The longer it sits on your shelf, the less it's worth. This is why shelf space is important in stores. All right, Zion Holsey, I'm happy to hear you're getting that knocked out, man. Getting it all knocked down. But along your way, once you get this all knocked down, you got to have, yes, you got the 2 secured credit cards. As soon as your credit score gets around 600, go get yourself a unsecured Capital One, MasterCard, or Visa, probably MasterCard or Visa unsecured. That would be my advice. All right. Curtis Davis, Storage Wars. Paula Marion. Yeah, Storage Wars for real. Exactly. Except Storage Wars is another, you're sitting there competing against other people, and you don't know how much the items are actually worth when you're doing it in real time. It's a lot easier to sit here and go to BULQ, sit there and say, okay, we have an assortment of women's items, and I know I'm only paying $1.10 for each one. I would rather take a risk on that than buying something in storage that I may or may not be able to see. Because if I can't see what's in the storage and I have to guess that hopefully I have some, the only way you can make the Storage Wars really work is because you can actually see some value in there. And then, of course, you have to rely on other people don't see the value. And that's where the gray area comes in. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but why wouldn't you just win all the time? Why take chances? All right. That's right. Stores like Gucci, Arbitrage online all day. Exactly. 500% markup. Now we're talking, Curtis Davis. That's my kind of numbers. All right. Thank you, Paula, for that. Check out Eric's links down below. I appreciate that. Okay, cool. 30 more points to go, hopefully, when I sell. Okay, Zion, tell me, use a link down below and go get your My Jewelers Club. You got to, if you do My Jewelers Club, New Coast Direct, you buy $100 or more, you put down 50%, you pay $30 a month until it's paid off. That'll get your debt utilization down. But start with My Jewelers Club. If everybody who's listening right now, if you order My Jewelers Club or New Coast Direct today, today's the 19th, tomorrow is the cutoff before noon, but I always say the day before. I don't like going on the 20th because you never know when things process in the computer system. If you order today, it's going to post on your credit report between August 7th and August 14th. So it'll be posting up in about 3 to 4 weeks. Okay? Versus if you order tomorrow after 12 noon, then it will not count. It will post in the month of August. It'll post in September 7th through the 14th. So if anybody's trying to improve their credit report, this is how you do it. You decrease your debt utilization below 10%. And if a $5,000 trade line helps, then I suggest My Jewelers Club gets you there, or New Coast Direct, or both. All right? So that's how you do it. Curtis Davis, yeah, 5%. Actually, inflation right now is more than 5%. So what people don't understand is when you have a trade war and a government such as the United States have people at the helm who think that's a good idea. When you charge China 25%, that means everything at Walmart, everything at the dollar store, everything at general store, everything that comes from China, almost. It's not 100% because they only do certain things, but that now costs 25% more. So something that used to cost $2 is now going to cost you $3.50. And this is why there's a lot of things out at stores in America, because a lot of items are purchased from China, and that 25% markup makes it untenable to purchase and resell. So that's why you have a lot of empty shelves. So just keep all that in mind. And anyhow, inflation is more than 5% because they printed up. Okay. I'll try to explain this the easiest I can. The United States government, the United States GDP is generally 18, 20 trillion a year. This is if there's no pandemic. The United States government has just printed up 3 trillion, and it's going to be 6 trillion after the next stimulus check comes out. That is more than 20% of money out of thin air. There is no way inflation can be 5% because they're just printed up extra money supply out of thin air. All right, so that means your money is now worth less. Okay, that's the easiest way I can explain it. All right. Right. So hopefully you guys understand how this inflation works. So this is why you have to understand what is going on economically. And this is why you should be paying attention to news sources that has to do with financials. If you're going to be the CEO of your life, then you understand that money or anybody messing with your money, messing with inflation, messing with tariff wars, messing with conflicts of war, they're messing with your money. Because that means the markets and the cost of products are going to cost higher. which now means your money. I made $1,000 today. And just because somebody said I want a tariff war, now that $1,000 can only buy $775 worth of an item from China. You understand what I'm saying? Just because somebody says you shot down a drone in the Middle East and we want to have a war against you, and now all of a sudden the oil price just went up 10 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents, $1. But yet your $1,000, now you can buy less gas for the same $1,000. That is inflation, ladies and gentlemen. So don't believe the hype when the mutual funds and 401k guys give you these paper statements that talk about over the last 20 years, you would have made 7% on your money. You got to do your own due diligence, because they're basing that on the average over like 50 years where inflation went up like 3% or 3.5%. That's not now. So you have to understand, but they use that against you to make you invest in their fund, because they go, see, we're making 7% per year after inflation. And then I'm going, no, you're not. You're sending me a statement in the mail saying I earned 7.7%, but I'm not really. Because that next year, that 7.7%, I can't buy the same thing I could buy the previous year. So actually inflation is higher than 3.3%. So there you go. All right. Yes, Zion, self-lender, whoever mentioned that, Paula, yes, self-lender. I would, at this point, I would recommend the Credit Strong first. And the reason why I recommend Credit Strong, they're just like self-lender, is that once you start doing Credit Strong and you've built up your savings, they'll allow you to use that to get a Credit Strong credit card, and it'll be secured. So your savings, let's say it's $200, you can ship it over and say, use that $200 in my savings for a secured credit card. And now you can add another primary trade line on your credit report. But both of them are good. And that's why I have links for both of them down below in the description. So either way, works out. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, everything must go up, because in America, they print money. It's debt. They create derivatives. And then we have inflationary things, because whenever you print more money, that means your money is worth less. All right. Well, if anybody else has any further questions, let me know. So we'll be moving on. So hopefully everybody understood. If you lost your job today, there are plenty of ways that you can make money. And let's even get real about this. Even if you didn't lose your job, these are the kind of things that you should be doing. And all of this you can buy or get for free, and then post on free social media sites and create revenue. And free Amazon, free eBay, free Etsy, free, even a Shopify store is free for 7 days. And then you can cancel if you want to even try that route. Curtis Davis, thank you for bringing this up. We can create debt too. That's right. That's right. My last video was on talking about using debt to make money. And I've had a few people in comments. I've been going back and forth with people who may or may not have seen that video. The last one I did, that was, it was simple explanation with and I'll go over it right now. If you haven't seen my last video, please check it out. I'll provide a link down below after this populates to YouTube. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at the facts. $59,000 house that already has a tenant in it that's paying $850 per month. It's in Detroit, and it's at Westbrook Drive. I think the address was 120 Westbrook Drive. It's on Zillow. Anybody can see it right now. So, in fact, I might as well even pull it up while we're talking about it. Let me go to it. Let me see if I can get to it real quick. Zillow, Detroit. But while I'm getting into it, I'm going to be looking this up, so I'll be looking around on the screen. But what I'm trying to say is, so the question is, a person says, hey, Eric, why are we trying to get credit? Why is somebody trying to build their credit score up? And quite frankly, I said, because when you have 60%, 70% of a population that doesn't even have $1,000 in their bank account, how are they going to save $59,000? So we need alternatives to this. And that's what we do here. We do solutions. I don't sit here and tell you we can't do something, because when you're the CEO and it's your life, you say, I can do something. So we make it happen, right? That's what we do here. We don't sit there and go, hey, you know what? Some guru told me, I should just pay everything cash and save $60,000, $70,000. No, we're not doing that, man. Come on. You want everybody to sit there and work for how many years to save 50, 60,000 when they've worked for how many years and can't even save $1,000? That's 70% of the population can't do that. 30% of the population can. And even those who can do it still don't do it. So you have to ask yourself, why is it that Samsung, why is it that an Apple, why is it, let's see, I don't know where it was actually. All I know it was Westbrook. Why is it that the Apples, the Samsungs, the Facebook companies of the world, why is it that these guys still have loans, but yet make billions of dollars a year? And they don't have to pay taxes. But yet here we are, they still have loans on their books. Why don't they spend their money? Because if you're like Curtis Davis, if you're smart like a Paul American, if you're a smart investor like a Joshua Felder, you're going to know that you can earn 7 to 10% on your money just without sweat. So why am I going to spend $1 billion of my own money when I know my $1 billion I can put somewhere and get 10% on my money with no sweat? Meanwhile, I can go down to the Fed and say, hey, man, can I get $100 million? And the Fed goes, sure, just give us back 1% annually. I'm earning 10% on my billion. Do you really think I care about 1% on 100 million? I'll use the billion, 10% to pay for it. And then I'll use that 100 million to generate additional income. See how it works? It's that simple. That's why they have loans. They're not going to use their own money. Let's see if I can find this one on Westbrook specifically. I don't know the address, so bear with me while I'm scrolling through here. But it was, I should have went high to low, right? Can we do that? No, I don't know how to do it. Well, anyhow, if anybody has any thoughts on this, let me know. Because the bottom line of the story, as it turns out, is the guy, as we were talking, was saying, hey, I want to spend $59,000. And I said, well, most people don't have that. So let's go with the solution. What's the solution? Anybody that has a 725 and up credit score, probably over the last month or two, has probably received letters or 0% balance transfers in the mail. Okay? All kind of deals are coming in because they need the velocity of money. They got to still be able to generate money. So they're got to offer people these transfers of money to put on their books to make it so they can use it as a derivative. Here we go, right here. Westbrook. So therefore, what I'm saying is you give up your $59,000, you're not earning 10% on your money. You're not earning 7% on your money. That's off the table now. But yet, these guys are going to go around and the guys are going to give me a 0% transfer for 12 months, 14 months, or 18 months. I'm working off of free money for 18 months potentially. And in my example on my video, I only use 12 months. Imagine only having to pay $120 a month for a year and a half. And that $120 a month that you pay go towards the principal because you have a 0% interest. And yes, I would have paid a 3, 4, or 5% fee depending on what company. But are you seriously going to say I'm not going to pay $360, $480, or $600 for using the bank's money? So I had to put nothing down, and all I get is I put down my 20%, and then my payments are $236 a month, and I have a tenant in here who's only paying $850. So this covers my 250. I'll call it 256. I actually said 236 in my video, but I'll use 250. This covers my 250 with $600 left over. What are we going to do with this extra $600? We're going to give 120 of it to the bank for our interest, or for our the fee they're going to charge us. We're going to have to pay. You have to pay monthly anyhow, even though it's 0%. You're still going to have a 1% payment. So you're going to give them their 120. But why wouldn't you just give them the whole 600? So at the end of 1 year, you already have half of the 12K already knocked out. And in a year 2, you got the other 12K knocked out. And then from that point on, you have $500 a month coming in. Why not? $500 a month times 12 is $6,000. At the end of year 5, after year 2 to year 5, 3 years, we got $18,000 cash. Using none of our money. We still have a house. And if you had the $59,000 to begin with, you got $59,000 earning 7%, 10% per year. So you either end up at the end of the 5 years with $67,000 at 7% or $98,000 at 10%. So you can see right here, it's still up here for sale. I didn't even call, but you know what? Somebody better call, because this right here says 41 days. There must be a reason. Somebody either forgot to take down the listing, or there must be some other reason that we don't know about, because this thing with the numbers that they show, this should have already been a done deal, unless there's some problem with the land contract or something else is going on that's not to the liking. But if all things are equal and you can actually buy the property, then this thing should have been gone already. All right. So hopefully that explains that. And as Paula Marion says, OPM, good night, Zion Holsey. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully I helped out a little bit with what you needed. Other people's money, OPM, that's right. You can become the bank. That's right. Become the bank. That's what you should be. That's right. Thank you, Curtis Davis. That's right. Great pep talk, Paula. That's right, Zion. You can do it, man. You're on the great path so far. All right. And as Curtis says, OPM, asset acquisition. That's right. So while you can acquire assets using other people's money, anybody who has their credit score and has built it up, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you. Don't become a Ramsey fan and sit there and tell me you're going to go, I'm going to save $100,000 before I buy my first piece of property. You could have already bought property and having generated revenue from that property the whole time. You were saving. You didn't even need to go that route. So anyhow, there's a place for everything. When you're trying to get somebody financially stable, then what do? You say, hey, save your money, pay off all your debt, because now your additional streams of income, what happens? You can use that now to buy other things. But the whole time you could have already been buying other things if your credit score was over 700. You could have already started your own LLC. You could have already started your own LLC, been building business credit the whole time. Now you have personal credit that you could tap, and you could have business credit that you can tap. And who would care if they're going to use a personal guarantee when you're buying property that you already know is going to generate revenue? You wouldn't care about that. You're sitting there going, where do I sign up? How many of these can I get? And as long as the numbers make sense, where you're saying I have $300, $400, $500 profit from a single family home or more, depending on what neighborhoods you're in and what you're buying it at, you are not going to care. You're going to sit there and go, how many of these can I get? That's all that's going to happen. So I don't want to hear anything. And yes, I'm going to say it again, Soverina, don't become a Ramsey fan. I'm trying to say it. This ain't 1990. This ain't 19. And by the way, let me just get this out the way. I hate this guru. This is the no guru zone. Let me explain something to you. Here I am sitting here telling you, hey, you know what? On Airbnb, no, I'll reverse that. I'm going to play like Ramsey. You know what? In the 1980s, man, things went down the tubes. I lost everything. And I borrowed money. So that's why I lost it. They called my dad. I couldn't do it, whatever. Been there, done that. The point of the matter is things happen in life. So let me get me on screen even more. So anyhow, things happen in life. There is nothing wrong with telling somebody, reduce all your debts, get rid of your expenses, and buy things for cash. That's fine. This ain't 1990. This ain't 1995. All I know is when somebody sits there and tells you that they're going to give you a loan for less than 4%, 3%, 2%, and inflation is more than that, then you should be keeping all your cash and you should be delving into loan products to acquire assets. Number one, the asset is worth what you just bought it for, right? So whether I bought it for cash or whether I bought it with somebody else's money alone, it's still going to be worth $59,000. Soon as I put down my 20%, I now owe $49,000. So I can always sell my house to get back, if not my 59, I know I can get back 49. All right. So either way, makes no sense for me to give up the full 59 that now I'm not earning any interest on. That all I'm now waiting on is $850 a month for the next 5.5 years to give me my money back. So anyhow, to the Ramsey, here's the situation. This man did what a lot of people did. We had problems. Savings and loans companies went out of business. Banks closed. Then they called people's notes. The bank that took over the other bank's assets, they called up and said, or sent letters, hey, you know, you owe $195,000. We want it all now. We're not going to let you pay no $195 a month. They wanted their home. A lot of people, look, I couldn't do it either. I'm sitting there like, is this a joke? So the same thing happened. There's no reason to tell other people not to get good credit and buy assets on the cheap. Here's the storyline, though, with the Ramsey. So the guy does what he's doing. He's a Christian guy. He's sitting there saying, hey, I went to church. So he's a financial guy. He says, okay, let me do the financial. Let me help people because I know a little bit. He studied, did his financial. He got a few students. Then he gets over 300 people that says, hey, I like what you're doing. I'm sure he was collecting some sort of money. He wasn't doing that for free. So let me ask you something. If I have like 200 people who's willing to pay me, let's say $50 a month, that's kind of a lot of money, right? It's easy for me to tell you when homes only cost 120 grand, 100 grand, I don't even know where he's at. But if he's in a lot of states where you could have bought in the early 90s or even mid 90s, I could have bought a house for 120 grand. So if I'm making 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 a week, yeah, I think after a few weeks I can buy a $100,000 house. So this is disingenuous to tell other people, hey, you know what? Work 9 to 5, slave away for 10, 15, 20 years, save this cash, and then buy stuff. What kind of crap is that? Anyhow, Anyhow, this is why I got a problem, because he didn't do what he's telling everybody else to do. He didn't make $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year in today's money and sit there and go, okay, I'm going to work for $12, $15, $20 an hour, and I'll save myself $500, $600, $800 a month for the next 15 years. He didn't do that. He did what everybody does. Everybody that's successful. You monetized yourself. You got customers. You got clients. And then you built and expanded your empire. And then he got a radio show. Then he gets a TV show. What do you think? He was working for free? This is craziness. And I damn sure know he ain't getting paid no $3,000 a month. This is crazy. And so then he's coming out here telling you, hey, go work for somebody else. Get your $20 an hour. Put away your $200, $300 a month in like Soverina said, 401k. Let them use your money. I'm going, why should I let them use your money? They're only giving me 7% on average over 20 years. Meanwhile, no mention of, well, why didn't you invest in Apple or Tesla or Samsung? None of that. Whoever did that, or even cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So if somebody did all that, you miss out on all the upside by putting your $200, $300, $400 a month in. Friends of mine worked for 34 years with the same company. Got out of high school, worked 30 plus years. And guess what? Not a bad story. You guys have heard me say this before. $1.2 million saved. That's right, Soverina. You don't start a business on credit. That is one thing you don't do. That's why I never talk about starting a business with credit here. You got that exactly right. The downfall you're going to have from starting a business that has no revenue coming in makes no sense. The reason why that $59,000 house makes sense, the reason why this makes sense is because it has $850 a month coming in. This is where most investors go wrong. Most investors go, hey, I want to start a business, and how much, and everything is projected. I think we'll make 500,000. I think we'll have 70,000 a month coming in. There is no proof of this. Nobody's going to want to give you any money. Okay? But somebody will give you money when you have a contract that somebody's paying you $850 a month and all you want is $50,000. Somebody's going to help you out. Especially when they say, hey, I want 10% on my money. Follow what I'm saying? 10% a year on my money. That's hard money. You don't even want that. But that's why you're going to put down the 20%. So you don't have to go hard money. So this is a real reason why I have nothing against the Ramsey situation. That works out for most Americans. Why? Because 60 to 70% of Americans don't even have $1,000. And the reason why they don't is because they're out partying on Friday night. They're out there buying a $700 a month car. They're out there getting credit cards maxed up and then paying credit card fees. That all makes sense. That's the way you tell everybody, don't max out your cards, reduce your debt. All that is standard issue. Now, can we get to the money-making part? Because unless you're going to be making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year, you're not going to be in the ball game to be a millionaire 20 years from now. Unless you do something. You're going to have to do something. Streams of income. You're going to have to make more money. Okay? There's nobody that's going to be making $40,000 a year and be a millionaire 25 years from now. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is Stop Struggling Now. Don't you want to go on vacation when you want? Or be able to say, hey, you know what? I want to go out here and I want to go to wherever. My last post where I posted up work hard, play hard, Dominican Republic. So what do you want to do? You want to sit there and work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week? Or do you want to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to work my 40, 50 hours a week, but I'm going to get financial freedom by making my money work for me. I'm not giving it to the 401 guys. I'm not giving it to the mutual fund guys. I want it in my possession. It's liquid to me. It ain't going in the bank either, because the bank doesn't give me 1%. Where can we go? We can only go to the stock market at this point. Interest rates are almost 0%. You know what 0% means? That means all the rich guys get to buy a lot more assets using other people's money for 1%. 1%. This is a no-brainer. This is why if you go to the UK, they have homes that used to be 200,000, 100,000 downtown in London that are over $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Why? Corporations own them and bought them because they got 1% interest rates or 0% interest rates. So now they can borrow $20 million and buy 3 or 4 homes and create a situation where they just outpriced all the families. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. So this is why I have a problem when somebody just says, do this without creating additional streams of income. And let's just face it, you want to be, I'll give you a number to shoot for. You want to make over $75,000 a year. Okay? That's what you want to be at. If you're making less than $75,000 a year, sure, you can live on that, nice. But if you want to be able to just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to Australia. I'm going to the Philippines. I'm going to South America tomorrow because I feel like it. You're going to have to be at 75 or more, and you're going to have to be playing the CEO of your life and investing. So whether you have a job or whether you don't have a job, you need to be making additional streams of income. And heaven forbid if you do a situation where you're making $40,000 a year and you now have a side business or side businesses that make an additional $40,000 a year. You're going to look at your job a different way, because now you're going to start thinking, wait a minute, I'm over here 8 hours a day. What if I was working on my own business 8 hours a day? I might be making more than the 40. There you go. So anyhow, that's my recommendation. I never actually put a hard number in, but like Paula just put 75K. A lot of Americans do not make 75K, but that's where you need to set your goal too. So if you're making less than that, you got to start going, okay, I need whatever it takes. If it's an extra 1,000 here, an extra 1,000 a month is extra 12,000 a year. An extra 500 a month is an extra 6,000 a year. So just start thinking over time, the same time that you're giving into your job, people work at a job 4 years, 7 years, 10 years. You don't think nothing about it. But soon as somebody says, hey, you know what, save your money, and the person pipes up, oh man, how much am I going to make in a year? I'm like, how long you worked at your same job? Come on. Stop playing with yourself like this. So that's the whole point. You want to make sure you're the CEO. You want to make sure you're the emerging millionaire. You want to think like a millionaire. Act like a millionaire. Act like a 1%er. Act like a top 10%er. And what looks like when you're 90% of the population, what does that look like? What it looks like is 6 a.m. in the morning. Has anybody been out? 7 a.m. in the morning. Have you been out? 8 a.m. in the morning. Have you been out? That's what it looks like when you are sitting out here making your money. You're changing your time. Think about it. You are trading in your time for money. Think about switching it up where the money is actually giving you the time to do whatever you want. The money is working for you. you're not working for your money. And Curtis Davis, I got to give a shout out to you as always, because we talk about stock, we talk about investments, and me and you got to do another live together, because you are doing exactly what I've been talking about from the get-go. Got business, got the extra streams of income, invest in the stock market, has your money working for itself. It's a beautiful program. So it's step by step, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to come to the forefront of any business that you don't know about in the first month or the first year. Remember, 2 years to 3 years is the work you got to put in. The same 2 to 3 years that you're out here working 40, 50 hours a week for, making your boss rich, you need to spend time to make yourself financially free. That's it. All right. And by the way, it feels good when you're making money while you sleep. Let's face facts. It feels good when you're on vacation and you see money coming into your account that you don't know nothing about. It feels good. Now, the question is, how long do you have to live? Do you know the answer? I don't. I don't know how long I'm going to live. So while I'm sitting here trading my time for dollars, where I got to be at a certain location every day, 5 days a week, and then on the 2 days, I'm sitting there covering everything that I didn't do in the 5 days I worked and the 2 days I'm off, or in some people's cases, the 3 days they're off. Think about it. And Curtis Davis brings up a good point, that dividend checks. Right. Hey, Curtis, you know what? Might as well. Like I said, my first stock that I tell everybody to get after you download the software down below for Robinhood and Webull, if you're going to invest, I always say AT&T, because they're safe and they give, even at today's price, 7% on the money. It might be 6.8, but anyhow, it's around 7%, because they give $2.08 per year in dividends right now. 52 cents every 3 months comes back. You want to go better? Try PSEC, Prospect Capital. Their shares of stock are they're around $5, $6. They're at 10 or 11% on your money. And they pay every month. P as in Paul, S as in Sam, E, C as in Charles. 10 or 11% on your money. Every month you get a dividend check, so it's your choice. Reinvest or let it go into your cash side. Long term, short term. Up to you. You're the CEO. So just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And if you haven't linked, click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'm about to wrap this up. So if anybody has any further questions or anything, let me know. And again, I hope I helped out those who may be laid off, those who might have lost their job, those of you who actually have a job and you're saying, you know what, this, making ends meet thing, not having anything in my savings, not having any way to invest, I'm getting tired of it. Let me figure out how I can add additional streams of income so I can start investing and making some money work for me while I'm sleeping, while I'm on vacation, while I'm partying. And by the way, for all you who think that you work 9 to 5, Kingdom Living, thank you and welcome. While you're working 9 to 5, think of it this way. On Friday or Saturday, when it depends on age, really, but how many of your friends call you up or coworkers call you up and say, hey, let's go to happy hour. Let's go to dinner. Let's go to the club. Let's go wherever to spend some money. When you start realizing that $100 you just spent at the club, or the $200 you just spent on clothes, or the $300 club clothes after party, you could have put that in the stock market and that money could be working for you. Once you change your mindset to the emerging millionaires, then you look at life a whole different way, because your next level is, you know what? I want to go hang out in Europe and not have to, and have a one-way ticket and not have to determine when I'm coming home. I'm just going to go all over. Who wouldn't want to do that? All right? Think about it. Again, some of y'all saw my post about Switzerland. One-way ticket. That's how we go. One way. Because I didn't know when I'm leaving. I didn't even know where I'm going. I was like, wait, man, Italy maybe, France, obviously France. I'm like, what am I going to do? Go to the UK? Nah, it was too cold. So it's a different lifestyle when you think, okay, where's my one-way ticket? I'm hanging. And by the way, for all those who haven't been to the EU, unlike America and EU are similar in this. When you travel within the United States, you don't need your passport. So you can travel, for instance, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, U.S. territories such as Virgin Islands. You don't need your passport. UK is awesome. You know why? Because you can go to all the EU countries without having another passport. I mean, you don't have to go to the passport. So you can go to Italy, Germany. Well, it used to be UK, not anymore since they tried to be Brexit. But France, Italy, Portugal, you know, whatever, all over there, man. So you can go to other countries just like you do in the US of A in the EU, which makes it awesome. And by the way, here's one of the little tips I'll give you. So when you go to the EU, when I landed, we landed. When I got there, we had 2 bags each. Everybody there had 1 bag traveling. And I noticed that, and I was like, man, what's going on? Soon as I tried to get my flight to France, that's when I knew what was going on. First bag free. Second bag, $125. It was crazy. You know. But anyhow, that's the price you pay. But it was all fun and games, so it didn't matter. But anyhow, since I don't seem to have any further questions, I can only thank everybody for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. This is why I have the videos. This is why we're always talking about different things. And this time it's about how to create income from nothing. So again, you have found a way today in today's video to go get those free items on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and then resell them on existing platforms such as eBay, OfferUp, Let Go, and any other platform, even your own. You could say on Instagram or Facebook page, whatever, all for free. All you need is your PayPal. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I should have mentioned this, and too bad it's at the end, but if you have revenues coming in from PayPal for the last 6 months to a year, they have a thing called PayPal Working Capital, where you can actually get yourself a loan. I have to say, though, the loan is kind of hefty, meaning you could get a $10,000 loan, but they're going to charge you like a $1,200 or $1,500 fee. So that automatically means you're already at 10 to 15% on your money, and then they're going to actually charge you like a 2 or 3% fee. I can't remember. So you're actually paying a high fee when you pay it back so quickly, and you're going to have to pay it back because the payback is based on your revenues. Every time you get paid, they take off what you signed up for, whether it was 10%, 15%, or 25%, goes back to them. So, but just to let you know, you can actually get a loan from them if you actually have money coming in already. So with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.